Hello, everyone. Good evening. It is season 6, episode 6. Timmer, what's going on, buddy? Welcome to 3BeerPod.
How's it going today, Cloudy? You are coming in loud and clear today, buddy.
Should we address the elephant in the room right off the top?
It does look like a big part of what's going on here tonight. I love it, dude. What's going on?
I've got a new microphone. How do I sound?
Oh,
Do I sound all right?
it's music right in my ear holes, buddy.
There you go.
This is beautiful. I'm so jealous. I got this little dinky thing here. I think we're gonna have to get on the Amazon tonight, buddy, and talk to our sponsors about getting a new microphone.
I'm getting the gear set up. I'm almost like full-size studio. Just gonna work on the backdrop. That's next. So that's coming. That's coming. I've come a long way, Timmer. A long way since my early days. That was the first podcast right there.
Holy smokes. You've aged.
Yeah.
You have aged. That mustache is solid though, buddy.
Yeah. That was
doing well back then.
About 18, 19 months ago when we started this podcast. And look at we've come a long way. You know what's funny, actually? You see that you see where the microphone, the mic arm that it's attached to?
Yeah.
That's exactly the same one I'm using. Literally, I have not gotten. Yeah.
Same.
Not gone any further.
Same engineering behind it.
Pretty much.
Like it, buddy.
Let's get rolling here, Timmer, because we got a guest tonight, John Downing from Niagara College. He's the Brewmaster professor. What a gig. And when this was announced, I've had a lot of people reach out and like, you're going to love talking to this guy. And some of our brewery friends that we have talked to are like, yeah, this guy is good. This guy's good. So John Downing is going to join us. We go ahead, Timmer.
No, I feel kind of intimidated right now, but we've made it through 60 plus episodes of me just kind of pretending I know what's going on with beer. And now we have this guest who, reading his resume, man, this guy knows beer. So I'm just gonna sit back here and let him talk about beer tonight. Looking forward to it, though.
I need you tonight, so I'm leaning on you for this one. We always start off with what you drinking, bud, and it's where we feature the beers here this week. I just realized, so I've got 3 beers, but 2 of them are the same. So what I'm drinking tonight. Well, here, this is
like one job. Grab 3 beers.
One job.
Grab 2 are the same.
Yeah. Oops.
Okay.
I've got a Radical Ghost from Henderson, so I'm going to be drinking that. See, there's what I'm drinking tonight. There's one of those, and now this one here, and we're going to have to talk to John. John's standing by now, but we're going to talk to him. This is from one of his former students, Adam Weaverink, who works for Equals Brewing now in London, and they've got a brewers series at Equals where the brewers get to come up with their own batch. So this is the Dreamwalker. It's an IPA. You're going to have to help me out with this. Jewert's, yeah, maybe John will help us out with this. It's a wine hybrid. It's a one-off brew. So this is what they do at Equals. And I got 2 of these. So that's where I threw me off. I thought I had 2 different ones. But so I got 2 of those. So that's the 3 beers I will be drinking tonight on the 3 Beer podcast. 2 are the same.
2 are the same, but there's still 3. I guess we never said it's 3 different beer podcasts.
That's true. That's true.
There was just a quantity. A magnitude is what we went for there. Okay. I'm drinking some beers tonight too, buddy. I'm not gonna lie, I hit the jackpot here.
Yeah.
Last week, got a box of beer in the mail. Didn't even know it was coming. That's the beauty of our friends from Wellington. Check this out, Cloudy. They sent this Boutique 6 to us. And then you forgot to take some. So
obviously I could have used some tonight too.
Yeah. So we got this. So I'm gonna crack this open. Sweet little 6-pack here. Nice little handle on the top here. A little tougher to get into than I
love this. Anybody that has children knows they're watching YouTube and they're watching kids unbox toys. So we call this our adult unboxing.
Yeah.
So Tim, we'll let you take this away.
Is sweet.
And show us
so there is a 3 of their main stained beers that these are ice cold too. We got the Hell's Lager, which is just crushable. We're going to talk about that beer later. Coming up. That one's delicious. Tonight. Well, we'll put that off to the side then. We have the special pale ale, the SPA, also a delicious beer from Wellington, and then the Upside Down IPA, which is awesome. And I think that they sent this glass.
Oh,
look at this too, buddy. So that's the drink. That's the Upside Down IPA glass. We're gonna need that. I got so much going on here right now, buddy. So those are those 3 beers. Those are delicious. Not sure if I'm gonna drink those. 6 beer podcast for me here today. This is Shuby. It is a can't even read what that says. Strawberry sour IPA.
Oh,
that sounds delicious. And then there's a fine Italian Pilsner. I think I'm going to keep that one out. We'll keep it light here tonight. And this is Spice Odyssey, a chai latte stout. That's look at that can. That's pretty sweet. Very nice. Those are the 6. This is a 6-pack that's available in the LCBO now, I think. Must be. They sent it to us. They didn't give us a date on it. It's there. Yeah. So that's the 6-pack. I'm not sure why I buttoned that up, but there is also 2 more.
Oh, beautiful.
With it. This is a true buddy. This is the 36. This is an anniversary beer.
Nice.
36th anniversary triple IPA coming in at a whopping 10.2%, buddy. Probably not drinking that one tonight. We're going to slide that off to the side here,
buddy.
And then we have Duck Dive, a blackberry chai IPA.
Ooh.
I don't know what to do here now. I'm not drinking the triple tonight. I think I might jump in with this blackberry chai IPA. That sounds delightful. I'm going to go with that. So again, thanks to our friends at Wellington for just sending us beer in the mail, which is awesome. Oh, also, they had a couple of the hop waters.
Oh, nice.
So the Chinook hop water and the Cascade hop water. And later in Beer Nutrition, I will give you a great recipe that goes with the 0-calorie hop waters. I think they're 0 calorie. I might have just made that part up. Nope, 0 calorie. 0 calorie.
All right. Beer unboxing. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So thanks to Wellington for sending over a bunch of awesome stuff here. I'm going to try this blackberry chai IPA, which is also available at the LCBO. The 36 beer is not. But this one is. I'm going for it, buddy.
More coming up in the beer buzz. We got to talk about some of those brews over there at Wellington.
Missed my glass.
Oh, buddy. Let's get to our guest. Season 6, episode 6. It is John Downing from Niagara College. Let's do a little scrambling here. John, how you doing?
Very good, thanks.
Welcome to the podcast here. Let's make sure we get this so we can get you all blown.
There we go.
There you go, John. Welcome to the podcast, the 3BeerPod. Right away, so we're spitting out some of these beers that we're drinking here tonight. How many of these breweries do you have students that you've taught?
All of them have or have had grads.
Pretty wild. We're excited to talk to you. First of all, what a gig, man! You were the Brewmaster professor at Niagara College. It seems like you've got quite the history, but that's got to be pretty neat title to have.
Yeah, it's the one that the college gave me for starting this whole thing off.
That's very cool. Very cool. So, John, we've got so much. I don't know where to jump in here, but let's start. So, 10 years now, just over 10 years with Niagara College. What's that program like? Are you getting a lot of wahoos getting involved because they think, hey, I'm just going to come pound some beers? Or what kind of students are you seeing come through that program?
Absolutely the opposite. It's all people who want to get into the industry, want to be a part of it. For the first few years, we were in such high demand that we had they had to do essays and things just in order to get into the course. They had to show what they wanted. They had to, do basically an interview process just to be accepted onto the program. So that kind of weeded out any wahoos or whatever, the ones they hired in the first place. But kind of kept the students on a very upward and straight path going forward.
I can imagine.
What? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Claudia.
I was just going to say, Tim's background is in education as well. He knows the science behind this beer. I'm just the guy that likes the taste of beer. So you're going to have 2 different perspectives here tonight. So we're going to come from 2 different angles. Timmer, what do you got, buddy?
John, are you seeing students coming right out of high school jumping into this program, or is it middle-aged guys like me that want to change career and get into something totally awesome like brewing beer? Not speaking for myself at all, but just wondering, is it people coming out of high school, or is it kind of older people jumping into this program?
Every aspect of that is correct. Very first class we had a 19-year-old, and I think the oldest one in that class was 42, and that's carried on all the way through. We've had Americans, an American who was 19 who legally couldn't drink at home. He came and started the course, and when he graduated, he was 21, and he went home and worked in his family's brewery right away. So it's that whole gamut. We've had a 70-year-old dentist, a retired dentist take the program. We've had a few retired bankers and lawyers. Generally, though, it tends to be people not on final careers or first careers, but second careers. You're right. It tends to be like mid-20s to mid-30s seems to be our main demographic. But it's such a wide range that every class is so unique and so different and fun.
We've got we've got a couple comments from past students who were saying, yeah, you're gonna love talking to John. He knows his stuff. So Niagara College came obviously 10 years ago, but you've been involved in the beer industry for a long time. Where did that begin for you?
I made my first beer when I was 14 years old. My dad was a PhD in microbiology and chemistry, but he was a research scientist. He didn't work in the brewing industry, but he made some wine. I made some beer. His wine all exploded and my beer turned out. So I started me on a path of a hobby. I got trained as a cellarman in an English pub when I was 16, my first job. Kind of got away from brewing, apart from home brewing, then and went and took a Bachelor of Commerce degree at the University of Birmingham. But I still worked in a couple of breweries for summer jobs and was the founding member of the University Beer Appreciation Society. So, kept beer on my radar all the way through. And when I graduated, I was looking at different opportunities in English brewing at that time, not really thinking that there was much going on anywhere else really in the world that would be of interest. But I happened to come and visit my sister in Canada, who'd married a Canadian a few years before that, and went to a conference in Guelph. And actually, at that conference, Wellington officially opened, and I went to their grand opening. Met Philip Gosling and those guys back then. The next day at the conference, supper time, I was sitting in I think it was the Duke of Woolwich, Duke of Grafton pub in Guelph. And on my own, I didn't know anybody. And these French Canadian guys came and sat down with me and said, the great conference, wasn't it? Oh yeah, really exciting that they announced that brew pubs were now legal in Ontario and stuff like that. And they sort of said, well, we bought this equipment. We want to be the first people to do it, but we don't know anything about making beer. And foolishly, I said, well, I do. And the rest, as they say, is history. So it's amazing what can happen over a pint in a pub.
That's good. So we've kind of heard this story. We've had Daniel Seuss on from Natterjack, and he's like, you got to ask him about this. So to get it right, you had the very first permit. Is that what it would be called? Is that right in Ontario?
Yeah, the French Canadians were the Couture family, and they owned the Atlas Hotel in Welland, which are one of the traditional old style hotels that had strippers at one point, disco at another point, country and western bar, all those kind of things going on, or whatever would work. And they were the first ones to do a brew pub. And when I have a copy of BPL 001 to this day.
Wow, that's a big deal. We're talking to the guy who's got the very first permit 001 right here in Ontario. It started with you, John. You're the man.
For brew pubs, yeah.
Brew pubs. It started with that's pretty wild. That's a neat little feather in your cap for sure. And I think that's pretty neat. That's come up in a couple conversations I had when I said that we had John on here tonight. So that it starts there. Like, where does that go? Like, how long did you stay there? Where's the jumping off point?
The industry was so small and just burgeoning at the time. I mean, there was nobody else doing it. There was nobody else who knew how to do it. And we were all flying by the seat of our pants and trying to get things to work, trying to find ingredients and equipment, trying to get supplies, everything, getting the legislation straight too. I mean, compared to what it's like today, it was, the dark ages really. But we slowly did it. And because of, being the first, I got asked a lot. I got consulting jobs. I started opening breweries for other people and all of this kind of stuff. Like in the first 3 or 4 years in Canada, I opened up the first brew pub in Western New York, the first brew pub in Ohio, the northernmost, southernmost, you name it, because no one else was doing it, and they just hired me away from the Atlas to do that kind of stuff.
It's just amazing to hear how many breweries, brew pubs you've been involved in. You've helped open more brew pubs and breweries than I've been in my drinking days, which I thought I was getting pretty good on my list, but then I saw your resume. So which one's your favorite then, John?
Oh, geez, there's so many different ones. I mean, I started obviously in Ontario and Western New York, and then gradually spread the tentacles out further and further. And it took me around the world. I built breweries in Japan and South Korea, and in Cyprus and the Ukraine, and it's just craziness. So it's tough to pick one. I mean, there's so many good memories from all of them. I built 13 breweries for the U.S. military too, which was an experience in and of itself. To be the brewer of record and hold an official rank in the U.S. military, it was kind of fun.
So Brewmaster, what is the rank then?
Yeah, well, that's what I got to ask. What's that all about?
I had the equivalency of a lieutenant colonel. in their hierarchy. And I had a call sign too. I was known as Beer John, which is kind of stuck.
I love
That's
that.
amazing.
I love that. Tim, Tim keeps a track of the breweries he's been to. So we've gone to a couple breweries, and then as soon as he has a beer, because he can't just be inside a brewery, he has to have a beer to add to his list. Tim, what number are you at on your brewery list? Which is pretty impressive.
86, I think it is, Cloudy. Let me check here. I think it's 86. It's somewhere around there. 86.
He hasn't cracked 90 yet, John.
No, but this weekend is going to help.
We're going to add a couple more this weekend. John, do you have a similar list, or is it just in your head? Are you just like, I know I've been to this one here, or?
I can remember a few milestones. I know I had designed my 100th beer recipe by 1992. And to date, I'm up to like 3,800 that are on tap somewhere in the world or have been.
That number is how many beers have actually gone to tap and used somewhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of recipes of mine.
That's
and I'm still going into college. I mean, I design probably 50 or 60 new beers every year at the college too.
So I'm a home brewer, John, and I have like 2 good recipes that I can get to work every time. So to hear that number is amazing to me. That's phenomenal. That
it really just comes down to science, though. Once you get to know what the ingredients do and how the flavors work and the balances and the style, putting a recipe together for me now is like very easy. Being able to teach somebody to do it is a little bit more challenging, but it is still very possible. I mean, you've been tasting products that my grads are making, and these guys are just knocking out. I'm trying a new one tonight that came from Cold Break. Grad called Laura Garzon. She just graduated in the summer, and she's just made her first beer, and it's phenomenal. At Munich Dunkel, it's excellent.
I got so many angles I want to ask you about. So, like, what would be the toughest? So, like, Tim's got a science background. He's got a home brewing background. So, he's got an idea. But me, I can hardly make pancakes, John. So, like, how much work would it take to get me to be able to brew a beer that's drinkable?
If you can clean that pan that made the pancake, you can make a beer. If you keep it clean, no matter what you do, if you just follow the instructions, it's just putting a series of ingredients together and, doing the right thing at the right time at the right temperature, you'll make yourself a beer.
That's pretty much. John Downing is our guest here on season 6. He's the Brewmaster professor at Niagara College, and we're finding out the background is pretty wild. What would your style of choice be to brew, number 1, and then to drink, number 2?
Oh, that changes constantly. I mean, being English, I've always had a soft spot for English ales, especially bitter, like our Butler's Bitter, which is now our Beer 101 bitter, is probably a beer that I've worked on the longest. Because like you're saying, you might get 1 or 2 recipes. It takes time to develop, and you can change this a little bit. And every year the ingredients change a little bit too. So you have to be able to, if you want to make the same beer taste the same year after year, you have to be able to modify that recipe depending on the ingredients you have. So it might look on paper like it's identical, but the hops will change a bit because it was a slightly wetter growing season, or the malt will change because it was slightly drier. This is a constant battle that brewers all the way through have to deal with. And kudos to the big guys. They make Budweiser taste the same every single time, and that's truly amazing to be able to do that. And craft brewers try to do their best to do that, and the bigger ones obviously do succeed. If you have a Sierra Nevada, it'll taste the same now as it did 5 years ago, as it did 10 years ago, and that's one of the king craft beers that were put out in the market.
John, I got 2 questions about kind of what's going on here in Ontario right now. Do you see us kind of plateauing at any point in time in the number of breweries, brew pubs that are opening? It's been pretty much exponential here in the last few years. Are we going to peak out? Like, where are we headed with breweries and brew pubs here now in Ontario? Where do you see this going?
I can see us going to 30% market share, 30 to 40% market share easily. And we're not close to that. We're maybe, 50 or 60% of the way there.
Wow.
So I can see, a good number more breweries opening, or the ones that are in existence going bigger and, serving those markets.
That's exciting to hear, as someone that likes to get out and go to these different breweries, for sure. That's exciting to hear. I think the other part is, where do you see the next trend going, right? It seems like we kind of go in phases. A brewery finds a beer, and then they all make the same beer. And then another trend comes. What do you think is up and coming here next that we're going to see brewers pumping out here?
I think we're heading to back to a simpler time. Getting the beers that are established, the barley wines, the barrel aged, the sours, the hazies, they're all going to be around too for a while. The IPAs, obviously, they're still booming like crazy. But I think simpler beers, smash beers, the single malt and hop beers, true lagers and pilsners, clean, crisp, that kind of thing. People are going more towards that sort of. If you look at the Wellington Helles and beers like that, they're doing phenomenally well these days. And some of the other lagers and pilsners that are out there too. But I think that sort of style, going to style, is really becoming very popular again.
Yeah, John, Tim and I have been to a bunch of breweries here recently, and just this summer we did a bunch of tours, just visiting. It seems like every town has got a brewery now.
Yeah.
And there's two different kinds of people who like beer, who are there because they like the taste of the beer, and then there's people who are there who like the atmosphere, and it seems to be growing in popularity. What makes that work? Like what part of that is so hot? We're seeing these breweries pop up in these little small towns and do well. When you're setting up a brewery, is that something that you take into account? Is it the location? Is it the actual building itself? Like how much of it is the beer, the setting? Like what all goes into making that work?
I mean, the key word is local. To me, that's a word I grew up with. My local was my pub. It's where I go to drink. It's where I enjoy the beers because they came from that local brewery down the street. For me, it was King and Barnes and the Sussex Ales and Kentish Ales. But that's what it is. It's your local. It's your close place where you're going down to have a pint, to play some cards, to maybe sing some karaoke or bingo or whatever you do on a quiet night, and then maybe get a bit rowdy on the weekend with a band or something. But that's what a pub is, and that's exactly it's kind of come full circle. That's exactly what's happening to me anyway, for these all the small local breweries, little craft pubs, and so on. It's exactly that. People want somewhere comfortable. That's not their living room. But isn't a noisy, rowdy sports bar necessarily, or a dance club. It's just somewhere they can sit back, relax, have a pint, pet their dog, all that kind of stuff.
That's so true. That is so true. It's like it's such a mix of people when you go to these breweries. You see all kinds. People are like, I don't even really like beer, but they end up liking beer by the end of the visit, right? Like,
but there's so many styles and trials and tastes that people can do. I mean, I was saying about how focused people are becoming on certain styles. They're doing that, but at the same time, they'll take that pure Pilsner and throw, some lime into it or throw some guava into it. And so they'll have the two beers that are basically the same beer. Just one has a punch of fruit into it. And it's very easy for a brewer to do that. It's very easy for them to take a standard recipe and branch it out.
Our dads, Tim, were probably like, if they hear guava or lime, they're like, what the hell are you doing to beer? But like, that's nowadays, that's the thing, right? Like there's so many odd ingredients and odd flavors. And like, I saw a pumpkin one the other day. I don't have any interest in trying that, but like, it's just so many odd things are added in all your travels, John. What is the oddest mix flavor that you've seen come up? Because here recently, it seems like sometimes you got to step back and do a Google search on what exactly is you're drinking.
Well, I mean, that's tough. I mean, there's so many different. Probably some of the odder things are like tomato beer. I mean, but even that's not weird when you think about a red eye. But it's actually brewing with tomato in it. Again, the Italians a few years back started doing some beer and wine mixes, and we've done a couple in Niagara too, and they hadn't been very popular, but they seem to be on a bit of a resurgence now, with guys like Aaron Spinney down at Merritt doing stuff like that. And I think you just mentioned one that you had yourself there.
Adam Weaverink, put that together.
So Adam's beer, so that kind of thing is creeping back in, and it's definitely the taking an ingredient that you wouldn't normally mix with a beer, like chocolate, like wine, you just historically wouldn't have thought of doing that. The spices, the fruits, the honeys, that is history. That is the history of beer. Yeah. I mean, the earliest beers were made from those ingredients. They had dates in them. They had figs in them. We know from back in Mesopotamian times when, the women goddesses and the brewers were back then, the women brewers back then were using all these fruits and vegetables and spices to make the beers, to make the flavors. Now, was that because the base beer was not that great and they had to add something to it? More than likely, because they had to make it taste a little bit more palatable. Maybe putting a spoonful of sugar in there made the beer go down.
You imagine our grandparents, Tim, looking at each other and saying, "Oh, I love this fig beer." I have a hard time imagining, but yeah, that's the history of it. Do you have something there, Tim?
Yeah, for sure. I've had the opportunity to visit the brewing college a few times pre-COVID. Had some great actually afternoons there talking to different brewers that were there and people just letting me try a bunch of different beers. It was pretty awesome. What's the experience right now? Are people able to get in there and still try beers? What are you guys doing so these beers can get tasted, John?
Through COVID, we basically closed the brewery off to any visitors because we were open. We kept producing all the way through. We didn't have students last summer, but we did obviously in the fall and winter, and this continuing on. And to keep the environment safe and everybody happy and separate, and all the COVID things that we've had to do, we kept customers and visitors away. I haven't seen any visitors really until the last week or two, and that obviously deliberate. We wanted to keep going. We had students that wanted to graduate to get out in the industry. We had an industry that kept going all the way through COVID, so they needed people. They needed employees, and we're one of the prime sources of that in Ontario. So keeping it going like that, we when we could reopen, the winery itself took on the beer, and so now you can buy beer, wine, and spirits, because obviously we have a distilling program too at the college now. So you can get all three up at the one location at the winery, and they're doing everything up there, doing the samples, doing the flights and tasting, just like we used to do at the brewery. Hopefully, we're hoping to reopen that by hopefully in the winter sometime, maybe next spring, as long as we keep going in the right direction.
And you guys are selling online now too? Did I see that? Like we can order the beers and get them shipped and delivered?
Yep.
Yeah, I missed the boat on that one because there's a couple different packages there that I was looking at. That was there the small batch tasty 12. That sounded pretty solid.
Yeah, we come up with a bunch of different ideas, and because our students, I mean the first and second semesters tend to follow either mine or my head brewer George Eagleson. We have a brew lead called Brad Barter, and we all design beers, and the students get to make them when they're learning. Once they've done the basics in the first 2 semesters, they now start designing their own. So by the 3rd semester, we're having 18 to 20 beers, student design beers that are all beers done to style. So they have to follow the Canadian Brewing Awards guidelines to style. They have to use our hops, but they can use any basic ingredient that's in the brewery. For the 4th semester, what we call Project Brew, now it's wide open. They can get whatever they want. We have to order. We order things through our central stores from our culinary guys. Like I've been ordering, cherries and rose hips and you name it for this semester. So come the end of this semester with the Project Brew, we'll have 18 beers that will be totally unique, totally different, available. I'm not sure yet if it's going to be an in-person thing. It'll be the first one for a while, obviously in 4 or 5 semesters that will be, but we'll see. If not, we'll be selling it as a case. You'll be able to buy the 20 beers. And,
I love this. I love this Trust This 12-pack or the Trust This 6-pack. I'm definitely gonna jump on board with that on the website, and I'll trust you. I want to try some of this. Like I said, when I stopped by there, it was a great. I think it was a Sunday afternoon. I stopped by and was there for a couple hours, just sampling different things, talking to different brewers. It was a great time. So I hope we can get back to that time, because it was nice to talk to some young brewers and people really excited about the brewing industry. It was a pretty cool afternoon. So I hope we can get back to that at some point in time for sure.
With that's interesting, Tim. You mentioned the young brewers and the young students that are, I guess, these students that are in the course. John, what's the male to female ratio? Because we have seen a push here recently for more women to get involved in the brewing industry. What are you seeing come through the halls of the school?
It varies semester on semester. Sometimes we have 3 or 4 women out of 18 or 20. Sometimes it's down to 2. I mean, it really depends. The biggest class we had 8 in it. It just varies each semester. I know there's a lot of activity and sponsorship and scholarships available for anybody. From women to BIPOC to whatever to come into the course. So we are definitely trying to expand and get more people interested, and the industry is too. I mean, the scholarships are coming from breweries like Collective Arts and Left Field, and they're putting together scholarships, bench brewing too, to encourage people to come in and take the program. And if financial reasons needs, then the money's there for them to do it.
And I know Natterjack is involved in that as well. And shout out to them as well. They were one of our first guests here on the podcast. I want to know, John, you've been involved with so many students and so many breweries. Do you ever have to pay when you go? Or are they like, John's here, like, let's hook them up? Like,
if it's their own company and they just started off, I will not let them buy me a beer, because I know what it's like to start a company off, start a business off. And, they can give me a t-shirt or something, but I will make them, I'll pay for the beer and all that kind of stuff. If it's, if they're working for somebody else and I know that they've got deeper pockets, I will gladly accept a 6-pack.
That's pretty sweet. I bet your t-shirt collection is out of this world.
It is insane.
Oh, that is awesome. So jealous. John, we're gonna let you go here. We're gonna talk in a couple minutes about the Canadian Brewing Awards, which were just handed out here. We're gonna go over some of them in a couple minutes, but I'm sure you've had a chance to look at that list. Is there anything that jumps out, or maybe a student of yours that you're like, God damn, I knew they were gonna do something in this business?
Yeah, Shacklin's got a couple in there. Tire Shack, I think. These are all grads in their programs. Yeah. Who else? Ooh. I'm going to get in trouble for this because I can't remember them all off the top of my head. But that's actually, honestly, one of the best things is to see my grads getting out there and walking across the stages to pick up awards. I've done it. I've been there, but it's so much nicer to see them doing it. It really is.
John, this has been awesome, and I feel like we could sit and talk to you for another 25 minutes or so, but we'll have to do it again at some point. You'll have to have a return appearance on the podcast. Okay.
Sounds good. My pleasure.
John, cheers. Enjoy your beers tonight, okay?
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, John. John from Niagara College, a brewmaster professor at the college. What a gig. And I'm serious. I bet you that t-shirt collection is popping. Like, it is out of this world.
What a good dude, eh? Yeah. I bet you he's got stories upon stories of beer. And we'll have to get up to the college when we can. Like I said, it's a really cool spot to visit and try different beers and try new things that they're doing. But check out their website too. I just stumbled upon that this week and definitely going to order from there soon. Maybe we set up a beer podcast course, and we could be the professors on that one. We need to sit down and talk about this. Chris McLeod, professor of beer pod. He's late again. A really niche market that we're setting ourselves into here. Really niche. All right, Tim, Beer Buzz is where we talk what's going on in the beer world. Today's Drink Beer Day. Did you know that? On a Tuesday, it's Drink Beer Day? From what is surrounding me right now, I must have got the memo on that one, buddy. In the world of dumb holidays, Drink Beer Day. Yeah. I feel like that should be like every Tuesday. Speaking of that, this one here. So that was interesting when John talked about just going back to the simpler of beers. This is fine Italian Pilsner from Wellington, and that's delicious. And I had we had a couple Enzos on the weekend from Sons of Kent, and again, just a fine Italian Pilsner, which is, I agree. Sometimes you're just like, I want just a tasty beer. I don't need any chai latte in my beer, and I just want a tasty beer. Although I will say, this blackberry chai beer from Wellington. This is the Duck Dive. Oh, nice. It was something that I haven't experienced before, and quite tasty, to say the least. Drink Beer Day. Beer developed over 10,000 years ago. That's back when we started the podcast. European cities like Prague, and somebody needs to correct us if this is wrong or not, but this is what it says here. Ordering a beer in Prague in a restaurant is cheaper than ordering water. That's going to be our next roadie, Prague. Well, if they're just serving water, or sorry, if they're just serving beer at the table, it's cheaper. I'm in. They say Europeans who arrived in the New World actually complained when they were out of beer and had to brew more. Well, I can get on board. That makes sense. Of course they did. Jump on board with that too. You know what I thought was interesting was when John was talking about how throwing stuff in beer isn't a new thing. No. They had to do it before just to cover up the terrible beer flavor, right? And then if you give it to our dads now and they taste like, what the hell is this doing in my beer? Like, wow, that's just ancient beer taste, Dad. Don't worry about it. Ancient beer taste. We mentioned the 19th annual Canadian Brewing Awards, which just handed out here in the last week or so, and there's 60-ish different categories. We don't have to go over them all. I did highlight a couple. The Collingwood Brewery, we're gonna have to make a visit there here at some point, eh?
That one for the silver. Collingwood Brewery.
Yeah, let's go there this weekend, buddy.
I'm in. Freestyle Hasta La Vista. Schwarzbier. Schwarzbier. From Collingwood Brewery. So yeah, I'll go over a couple here. So we've had a couple guests on, we visited breweries here in the last little while. German style sour ale. The gold the gold winner was Guava Ghost from Collective Arts.
Oh yeah, it's on the board back here, but I saw that one. That one is a good beer.
I was looking through the fridge tonight trying to find mine because I thought, that's a gold medal winner for sure. English style pale ale, bronze medal to Muskoka Brewery, who we visited in the summer.
Oh yeah, that is solid. Just a mainstay, eh? Wow, that's good.
North American style premium lager, and I'm just going over like some that I popped out here. The North American style premium lager, you got it right there. The Hell's Lager from Wellington, win a bronze. Oh, you got that somewhere in the box.
Oh, sorry, I reboxed the box. This one right
reboxed the box.
What category? Oh, right there, North American style premium lager.
Yeah. So,
and again, just one of those ones that you're like, man, I just need a beer. There you go, grab that crisp golden lager, delicious.
Cream ale, silver was the Three Fields from Elora Brewing Company, and we featured that because I think I gave you a couple of those way back, maybe early in the year from Elora.
From Elora, yeah. So we should go there soon too.
Let's go there. American style Imperial India Pale Ale from Refined Fools in Sarnia. Zane lost his avocado bag.
What?
Yeah,
I love Zane lost his avocado bag.
So I've got my.
What category was that?
That was the American style Imperial India Pale Ale.
Right there. Yeah. Zane lost his avocado bag. Good for them. I like Refined Fool. Good.
And there's, like I said, there's like 56. So, and I just pulled out a couple names of guests we've had on, so someone's that jumped out at you. So that's pretty interesting.
There was one more that I saw there, but I can't remember what it was. It was. We'll get back to it, buddy.
We'll start the countdown now. Oh, on this one, the North American style lager, gold, the Shake Lager from Equals Brewing Company, and we had just mentioned Equals Brewing doing that brewer series. So yeah, a couple jump out at you. Google it, Canadian Brewing Awards and Conference, which was just held here in the last couple of weeks. I got that in the beer buzz. Tim, you told me to write something down. Guess what I did? I didn't do that.
Couple of things, buddy. My fridge was getting empty, and then I made a couple orders. So I'm excited for the next few weeks of what you're drinking, bud.
Oh, tell your Ottawa, your brewery, your beer order, and it showed up within hours.
Yeah, it was here the next day.
Yeah,
that was amazing. Dominion City. It was
that's right.
Less than 24 hours. It was at my door. So always enjoy Dominion City. They did a collab with Collective Arts where I was like, can't turn this down. It's in the fridge right now. Haven't tried it yet. It's peach and cardamom. I'm not sure what cardamom is, but I'm in. It was
sounds
Dominion
like a heart
City.
issue.
It might be. I don't know. I hope I don't get heart issues.
I don't need cardamom issues.
I'm excited to try that one. But I had too many Wellingtons to try tonight. So some good beers coming in What You Drinking, Bud, and probably some more after we try out some different breweries this weekend. The Grove.
Yes.
That picture, buddy?
Yeah. I just want to make sure our sponsors get a little bit there. So, and I pushed the wrong button. So let's go to this here. There you go.
I was pumped about this one. This is from our friends at the Grove, who we've had on a couple of times, and there is a new beer there called Dawn of the Ted. It is a milkshake IPA, and it is in honor of the One Brew Wonders cast series, and this is named after Ted Lamont. So Ted Lamont is a mainstay in Windsor, Essex as an entertainer. He was the one-man band that when I was in university, Ted Lamont, every Wednesday at Big Dick's, we were there drinking $10 pitchers of Coors then, maybe Bud Light. I don't know. We were drinking pitchers, and I was singing with Ted, and I'm sure Ted is fond
despite that, Ted's career has continued.
Fond memories of me and him and friend of the pod, Tom Page, and Petey doing some solo act or doing some duets, singing some Oasis.
Was he ever inviting you up, or did he always just have to deal with
in my mind, I always felt like Ted was like, hey, Tim and Tom.
Tim and Tom are here. Get up here. Okay.
Like, oh, I see Tim and Tom. They should come sing with us. Oh. I think really it was Ted saying, oh my God, those two guys are here again. And they're going to come try and sing Wonderwall with me again tonight. Either way, I'm excited. Ted did a video for them, and that's awesome. Go check out the Grove website or Grove on Facebook, because there's some cool stuff there.
Dawn of the Ted.
Dawn of the Ted Milkshake IPA. And I think if we talk really nicely to our sponsor, Shauna over at the Health House, she might be passing through Kingsville this weekend.
Oh, buddy.
For us to get some Dawn of the Ted from the Grove. Also, Chris McLeod over at Realty House has a gem for sale right now. Go check out this beautiful the rancher. Is that what we're calling that? It's a rancher, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful rancher on the north side of Chatham. Beautiful.
Yeah, go check it out. It looks like a screaming good deal for a beautiful house. So if you're looking to buy or sell, Chris McLeod's your man. That guy moves product. Oh, there's our sponsor, Shauna from the Health House. Chris McLeod moves product, moves houses. If you're looking to buy or sell, he's your guy right now. Shauna over at the Health House is going to buy us some beer. So we appreciate that as well. Appreciate
part
that.
of being a sponsor.
And our friends over at the PSL. Yes. I don't think they want to be friends yet, buddy. But
hey,
keep trying.
I don't give up.
I appreciate that.
I got an old buddy tonight. Oh, buddy. A beer festival held in an English churchyard started a bunch of controversy after pictures emerged of the visitors, having, it's a beer fest, right? Like, so they've had some beers.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, and they started posting pictures of them with gravestones.
What?
And so the locals in this town, they didn't like it. It was a 4-day beer fest, and it was in where was it? It was in a churchyard. So like, that's kind of an odd setting to begin with.
Poorly planned.
Yeah. So they ended up, and pictures got posted. People were like, "What the hell? Get away from it! Like, don't do that." That's one thing I hate, is when they're like, "Oh my God, it's prom. Let's go to the cemetery and get some pictures done." I'm like, "No, you don't get pictures done at the cemetery.
It's a beautiful day. Yeah, let's go to the cemetery.
Wedding day. Let's go to the cemetery." And I've been in the cemetery. And you see like bam, 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 and the cans dragging behind the car. You're like, what the hell are you doing here? Get out of here. I hate that. So, buddy, let's not let that happen. So they said the plan was to focus on great beer and a sense of welcome community. And that didn't happen. We apologize for that. So that's what happened at this British party. So, oh, buddy.
I have a concern about whose idea it was to have it at like a church picnic turn into a. Although maybe that's what they need right now. Maybe churches need 4-day beer fests.
Yeah.
Might spice things
possible.
Things up a bit.
She's possible. Now we're getting called out. Timmy could do a 4-day beer fest. Not sure about Cloudy.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, that's true.
That's hit hard, but true.
Jeez.
Probably.
Game on. Oh, if you answered my text sometimes, we'd hang out.
Seems like that seems like a challenge.
Try me.
4-day beer fest.
Challenge. I'm up for a challenge. Did you have a beer nutrition tonight you wanted to hit on? Our resident.
Oh God, here we go.
Nutritionist.
If you're looking for maybe a cocktail some night that you're like, maybe the nutritionist said that you should lay off alcohol during the week, and the recommended weekly dose is 14 a week. Maybe hypothetically, that's what your nutritionist or your dietitian told you.
Yep.
Here's one for you. Take a hop water, which is delicious, by the way. I 100% am excited to get one of these in the mail, and I'm going to try and make my own. I'm not going to lie. Should have talked to John about that. What you want to do is you want to take a hop water, and you're going to want to muddle some jalapenos. Are you familiar with muddling, Cloudy?
Muddling. No. Tell me more, nutritionist tip.
I think you just smash it up. You're gonna want to smash.
You don't even know.
I did too. It's like you smash it up. You take a mortar pestle. That's what you need.
I have teachers tell me I was muddling along through grade 9. That's the best thing. Yeah.
Take that. Oh, wait a second. Didn't read this fully. Then you're gonna want to take an ounce of tequila. So or non-alcoholic. So I don't even know what that is. Or just omit the alcohol. So you're fine. That's good. I didn't read the recipe all the way. Let me start over. No alcohol, just some hop water, a muddled jalapeno, some pineapple juice, a little bit of lime, a little bit of sage syrup. Don't know what that is either. This recipe is getting more complicated than I anticipated. A pinch of paprika, some ice, your hop water, and a little bit of lime wheel to garnish. That is what you call a light Western breeze. Did any of that sound tasty to you, buddy?
I lost. I was
you got lost at muddling.
Yeah. I told you I couldn't make pancakes, and here I am at muddling.
Okay,
I'm stuck in the muddling process.
I'm gonna get you to take a glass of ice.
Yep.
You're gonna take this delicious Cascade hop water. You're just gonna pour it in there and enjoy.
Okay, I'm in. I can handle that. I can mix that.
That is delicious, and I'm excited to try and make my own hop water, but I probably won't be successful, and I'll just drink Wellingtons.
I might just go to the beer fridge and grab a beer. That might just
be
buddy. The easiest.
Hypothetically, your dietitian said you should lay off the beer.
Thanks, nutritionist Tim. It's beer nutrition for this week.
For our dietitian Isabel for the phone call yesterday. Okay, thank you.
I've got I got a YouTube video in the house. I got to go finish watching. I'm watching The Deadliest Catch. You know this one where they're out in the
right.
So, The Deadliest Catch.
Did you have to hit pause for the podcast? Is that what you did?
Yeah, I was like, oh shoot, I gotta go do the podcast. It was just getting good too. They're fishing crab. It's a fishing boat. So they're up in the waters up in in Alaska. So they were sailing, and they're like, what is that? It's an unidentified floating object, a UFO. So they get close. They thought it maybe was a whale. No, it's a tree stump that's out in the middle of the ocean now.
How did you get out there?
I don't know. So they throw the hook and they're going to pull it in. So it doesn't, no other boaters are hitting. I'm like, well, that's a boating. That's what you do in boating or fishing, I guess. One of the crew hands rips his gear off and jumps in.
What?
Yeah, jumps in.
To wrestle it?
Manuel. I don't know. And they're like, Manuel, no. And he's like geared down. He's in just his gitch. And it's Alaska. It's February. And he jumps in. And now they've got to hook him and pull him in. And they give him what for. And yeah, he is causing some problems on the old nightly. What do they call it? I forget what the boat was called. But yeah. Yeah, telling you. Man, I can't get enough of this stuff. Deadliest Catch is now up there on my list. Tim's gone. We lost Timmer. But Deadliest Catch. I'm telling you. You got to catch that. Tim probably just ran away. He's like, I got to go watch Deadliest Catch. And so I got to go see if Manuel made it. I got to find out. John Downing from Niagara College. Thanks, John. We appreciate you talking to us here tonight from Niagara College. The Brewmaster Professor, which is really a course that is available at Niagara College and spitting out brewers all across the world. And he continues to do what he does. So thanks, John, for talking to us. Join us again next week on the pod, season 6, episode number 7. For Tim, who's off mixing that crap drink that he was telling us all about, he'll be back again next week. Thanks for joining. Cheers.